All right, this is some help with quiz 6.02. This is on cross sections of three-dimensional shapes. So the first two questions you're going to have is just going to ask you what kind of two-dimensional shape do you get when you cut a plane through a three-dimensional shape. So it'll depend on the way you're cutting it, whether you're slicing it. So for a prism, if I slice it horizontally, if it's a triangular prism, notice that that slice is going to give me a triangle. If I slice a rectangular prism horizontally, I'm going to get a rectangle. If it's a square prism, it'll be a square. For spheres, any way I slice it, I am always going to get a circle that is going to be similar to another circle. If I've got a cone, if I slice it through the center here or through the vertex, notice this shape outlined is a triangle. If I slice a cone horizontally, I'm going to get this blue circle here. A rectangular pyramid, I could get various different shapes. If I slice it here through the vertex, down the middle here, notice that this shape in the middle is a triangle. However, if I slice it a little off center here, not at the vertex, notice that this shape is a trapezoid. If I slice it horizontally, I'm going to get a rectangle. For cylinders, if I slice it horizontally, I'm going to get the circle. If I slice it vertically here down the center, I'm going to get a rectangle. So depending on how you're slicing it, you can get various shapes. Number 3 wants you to look at the rectangular prism. And what is the area? They want the area of a cross section sliced so that the cross section is parallel to CDE. So if we look at CDE, that's the edge right here. And so if it's going to be parallel to this, we could slice it here, here, here. Notice we're going to get the same shape as this face. We're going to get another rectangle. So the area of a rectangle, remember, is the base times the height, or length times width. Our base here is this 2 meters, or our width here. And then the length is 3 right here. So you're not going to use the 8. You're simply going to multiply 2 times 3 to get 6 meters squared because they ask us what the area was. The next one is what is the area of the two-dimensional cross-section that is parallel to ABC. So any cross-section we get here parallel to ABC is going to be the same triangle that we see on the face. So here is our triangle. And notice that they've given you, it's a right triangle. So we can simply 1/2 the base times the height. Our height can actually be side AB since it is a right triangle. And then we need our base. So the 8 is our height. And our base, notice that they've given us this. We could, if they haven't given us this down here, we could always use the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. But they've given you this right here, this 15. So these are the same. And so this is going to be 15, so we can use 15 as our base. And so 1/2 8 times 15 gives us 60. So this is one of the actual questions on the quiz. You could get a different variation, but you're going to work it the same way. And the last question is a little different. You have to read this one carefully. It says the rectangular prism is intersected by a plane that contains D, E, K, L. So a little hard to visualize because you've got to visualize this is three-dimensional. If we have a plane that's going to intersect D, E, K, and L, notice it's going to be diagonal. It's going to have a diagonal here. So it's going to be a rectangle, but our side is this diagonal. So for a rectangle, actually this one wants the perimeter. So we have to find all of the sides. Well, this side and this side are easy, right? They're given. So this is 16, then this rectangle is going to be 16 because opposite sides are congruent. But we don't have this length. We have 5 and 7 given, and I've changed the numbers a little bit, so just make sure you're doing it the same way. So this is 5, right? Opposite sides are the same, and this is 7. So this diagonal here is the hypotenuse of this right triangle. So this is our leg, this is a leg, this is our hypotenuse because we have a right angle right here. So we can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the length here. So a squared plus b squared is c squared. 5 squared plus 7 squared is going to give us our missing piece that we're needing, c squared. 25 plus 49 is 74. And then remember, to get c, you have to take the square root of both sides. Now, it tells you to round only your final answer to the nearest tenth. So when you take the square root of 74, it's not a whole number, go ahead and take it out to 4 or 5 decimal places, 8.0623. So that is going to be this side here. This side is 8.0623, as well as this side right here. So the perimeter, remember, you're adding all the sides of the cross section. So we've got 16 plus 16, 8.0623 plus 8.0623 is going to give you 48.66. Rounding to tenth is 1 decimal place, so this is greater than 5. 5 or greater, so we're going to round that up to 48.7. Hope this helps.